Hey guys, welcome to the place to be if you want the dirt, the scoop, the warts and all rundown of some of the best and worst movies ever to grace our screens. As a film critic, I attempt to poke holes and savage the writhing corpse of lackluster films, but also to laud and give rightful adulation to strong, creative and impactful filmmaking in all of its spectacular and glorious splendour. So kick back and enjoy the fruits of my labour and indulge me as I share my humble opinions on each piece of fresh chum of a film that I get to sink my teeth into. Every decision we ever make, who do we leave behind and how do we leave them? Waiting in the darkness, but the rescuer never comes. Yeah, pretty decent I must say. This Venom movie will suitably satiate the cravings of all true Eddie Brock fans, and the premise is simplistic enough in that Eddie tries to revive his failing career by interviewing a serial killer, Cletus, who is on death row. This film is ram-jammed full of Brock and Venom's dynamic, and what a partnership, a symbiotic genius at play whenever and wherever. Woody Harrelson as a serial killer makes for a great villain, and Tom Hardy's portrayal at the internal and external warring entities occupying his one body continues to intrigue fans galore. But when Carnage gains control over Cletus' body, he escapes from the prison and real carnage then ensues in a mixture of madness and mayhem in equal measure for the true aficionados out there. So let's get down to brass tacks here. Venom, Let There Be Carnage is a one-trick pony, and one that doesn't even actually land its trick. Sony's latest dive into Venom's creation is, well, meh. Normally you get Tom Hardy and Woody Harrelson acting solidly and putting in staunch performances, but this one was none of the above. The entire movie is a filler stalling for its final battle, and yet even that showdown is disappointing, and it just does not deliver as it had the potential to do so. Look, I'm going to be frank with you, it's not all bad. There are some pretty funny sequences throughout, and with some entertaining action thrown into the mix, and props on their design for making the symbiotes come to life is good, and as such is an improvement over the first one for sure, fully embracing the silliness, the banter and the campness of the first, and well, doing a damn good job whilst at it. This film will most definitely appeal to the true fans, and if you're in it for the fun of it, then you will be salivating like Cujo, and the movie will be a blast. But equally, I can also see why many call this a bit of a Marmite film. Some like it, and others really dislike it, and that is just the way it goes sometimes. It's a random, insane, and entertaining watch at times, but then it sucks in other areas. I mean, it really does suck. Director Andy Serkis gets down to sheer basics with these two marketable comic book characters, but that's about the strength of the depth of this particular one. There is absolutely zero character build-up. There's no script to talk about. It's super predictable, tedious at times, and in other areas, just totally ridiculous. I found the villain Cletus to be a bit underdeveloped and uninteresting, and the imagery was quite sloppy, and sometimes it was all over the place. Don't even get me started on the lack of coherent style of vision, and the fight sequences are just a blurry mess, just nonsensical. Anyway, in saying all that, it was good to finally see a live action Carnage in all of his vicious and unrelenting glory. But like I keep saying, this film is messy with regards to the plot, the story, the action, the music and the dialogue. The action isn't as good as the first either, and the story brings no value. I mean, look, we've got Venom, who, let's be straight here, should be threatening first and foremost, and with only the occasional hint of goofiness as a subtle means of subversion. But here he is in full clown mode. What is going on here with flipping pancakes? What I will say though is when Carnage appears, and that chaotic redness is not quite as vivid as it is depicted in the comics, and that is a shame, but his devilish bladed arms more than make up for any frailties in this department. Overall, the rating of R kind of stopped play a bit, and it feels like the film had many moments where it could have been even better if they just went for it, but the R rating censored the crap out of the scenes, and that just needed the throttle to be released a little bit without the unnecessary censorship spoiling events. This sequel is a loud, jumbled up and desperate mess where superpowers, no matter what, can do whatever the plot demands, so as long as the audience is enthralled. It is when the characters do not care about the plot or the consistency, and then the same jokes are repeated over and over and over. Anyway, Go and watch this movie if you're Venom fans, and you will walk away satisfied. It is not a horrific car crash of a film, but there are areas where I think that things could have been tweaked and improved. But other than that, it's just business as usual. As long as you're not taking it too seriously, this film is a fun, jovial, often silly, and of course R-rated, violent experience to be enjoyed by many people. And hey, it's not a movie that you need to avoid by any description. And like I say, Venom, Let There Be Carnage is a massive triumph in terms of fan service and dark comedy that in most cases does hit with a satisfying punch. So it's a good movie for watching with a group of friends or family, but it's nothing special and nothing to write home about. An average movie at best, and one that will not linger for far too long after you've seen it as you're sat there in the bar drinking a cool Guinness. Let There Be Carnage remains a slog, and one where I kept seeing glimpses of the movie I wish this had been. Guys, hope you enjoyed the review. Come and join me for the next one. I'll see you back then. Cheers.